Hello everyone, my name is Ken and welcome back to Cowrie Shell Archives. A few weeks ago, I had the opportunity to capture and archive the launch of a new creative venture by my friend Trey Carlisle, or MC Poetrey, for his new project called Poetrey's Place. Poetrey's Place is a platform for storytelling and emphasizing the importance of peacekeeping through story. It's going to involve a lot of singing, rapping, songwriting, producing, as well as involving some stories, and I believe there might be even some animation elements. I could be wrong about that. But all done by my friend Trey. Poetrey's Place is something that Trey is extremely passionate about, and it was so amazing to be able to be there, to be a part of helping him go ahead and launch this. This event was also supported by Housewarm. I will be showing some of the Housewarm products that helped us to facilitate various activities and aided in kind of the hospitality and the memory building of it all, as the Housewarm products did include a memory notebook and a Polaroid camera, so that was really amazing to have that from them. The launch primarily consisted of close friends and family, with a group reflection activity occurring at the end, and afterwards I had the opportunity to speak with Trey more about Poetrey's Place, his inspirations, goals, and hopes for Poetrey's Place, and beyond. I hope you enjoy our interview, and for more like this, please visit our website at cowrieshellarchives.com or check us out on Instagram at Cowrie Shell Archives. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to one of the very first events Cowrie Shell Archives is going to be archiving. This is a sneak peek at the launch of Poetrey's Place. I'm here with MC Poetrey, also known as Trey the Troubadour, and we're going to have him talk a little bit about what today's event was, a little bit more about Poetrey's Place and what we can be expecting from his first episode. I'm so excited that I got to be a part of your first episode and your launch.
Man,
how are you feeling?
I am feeling really grateful. One, the fact that I did it. Like, this dream and this vision for what Poetrey's Place could be, not just in concept, but also literally in like actual structure. I got to actually test it out with like my closest family and friends, and it was awesome. So I feel very like grateful and happy for that, and really excited to see how I want it to grow. And so my mind is already thinking about how to build out the series more, what the next steps are, but I'm actually just really grateful to have actually like bring it to life.
Yes, I do want to get more into what your vision was for the first episode. Of course, you don't need to say too much because they're going to see it when they watch. But before I get too into that, I want to know, what is Poetrey's Place and how did you come up with this idea?
Most definitely. So Poetrey's Place is an educational series that I created. It is influenced in a combination of all of the different mediums of storytelling and entertainment, and education that has informed me growing up. So I am a poet, I am a hip-hop MC, I am a songwriter, but I've also learned in the field of meditation and have been trained as a meditation facilitator. I do work in the field of like education and facilitating conversations to build bridges between communities. And I grew up watching stuff like Blue's Clues, Reading Rainbow, Sesame Street. Like, these are all the different ingredients that make up like me as a person. But also all of these different mediums growing up taught me the power of storytelling. And through my work ever since I was 13 and pursuing a passion for doing peace building work and social justice work and building bridges between communities and conflict, I realized how the stories that we tell, the narratives that we tell about ourselves, about others, about the different communities that we belong to, but then also about the world as a whole, that influences how we live our lives and the world that we create. It influences our policies, it influences our cultures, our educational and economic systems. Like, our whole world is really built upon the stories and narratives that we embrace and that we create. And so I wanted to create a platform where I could use these different mediums in storytelling, like poetry, like songwriting, orating in storytelling, to actually talk about and provide folks with skills and how we can be better storytellers as people, as how we can start telling narratives that cultivate and really embody and reflect love towards ourselves, towards others, and towards the planet that we live on, because that's essential to helping us survive and thrive as a people, and as a human race. And so it's excited to launch it.
Yes, that's so beautiful. I feel like everything that Poetrey's Place stands for aligns so well with Cowrie Shell Archives and what we're doing. So it's really amazing to be able to help push your platform in this way. So I'm really excited to get more into it. I think you talked a little bit about some of the different things that inspired you, and also just about feeling very grateful for this moment. But what does it really mean to you to be able to launch this with your loved ones, and what inspired you to include your loved ones in the first episode?
Oh man. Funny story. So I'll explain the two inspirations. The first inspiration was a very practical one. My mom and I, we were building out my actual apartment, the set for Poetrey's Place, putting all the tapestries around it, and we realized we didn't have enough time within the day that we were trying to put up the tapestries to put them all up. And the goal was to put them all up so I can film the episodes on my own. And so we were like, that's not gonna happen. So we were like, so maybe let's postpone it to another time. And then that allowed me to have the thought of, well, actually, maybe I can extend this building out to having an even bigger launch where I can launch it live. Mm-hmm. So that was the practical, tangible answer. The real deeper and truthful answer is, I have been learning in my life that community is essential for each and every one of us to achieve our dreams. Not only have I been able to start to pursue all of the passions and dreams of mine through the support of my friends and family and my loved ones, but also that's how we thrive as a community. That's how we move forward. And my biggest heroes and inspirations, whether it's peace builders throughout history or whether it's actual musicians and MCs that I'm inspired by, the people that I'm inspired by the most are those who stayed in community and worked and collaborated with their friends and family and with their communities to help bring their dreams to life and to help their community members bring their dreams to life and put other people on. And so I was like, I really want Poetrey's Place to be a space that reflects that and embodies that. And so to launch, to actually start the seed and the acorn for what Poetrey's Place is, to do it in community with all my friends and family, it is so freaking special to me. And I think it is it's the foundational energy for what I want Poetrey's Place and whatever grows from it to reflect and love.
That was beautiful.
Oh, I'm glad I was helpful.
With that, what are some of the things that we can expect from your first episode? What can we expect to see with that kind of context and love and intention behind what led you to film it the way that you did?
Oh, nice. All right, well, what you're gonna see is you're gonna see and hear me singing some original music and stories that I created. You're going to see me facilitating a reflective experience for folks to reflect on their dreams and the stories that influence them, and if their life was a movie or book or story, what they want the message of their story to be. You're going to see some of my friends and family sharing their responses, and you're going to see I would say, a live example, like a live version of what these future Poetry's Place episodes are going to look like. Which in the future, most of them are going to be filmed just with me. They're going to be a little more edited, a little more structured from an editing perspective. But for like this first episode to be one that was filmed live in community, that really captures the essence of it live, I think it's going to be unique, and it's going to be special, and it's going to help folks get the feel for what the spirit of Poetry's Place is, so that when I release more of the official episodes that I film and produce myself, you're going to understand the essence behind it.
Beautiful. I'm so excited to see the first episode. With this being the very first launch and you putting so much planning and love and intention into creating it and into creating the first episode, and even just your intention behind creating the first episode through doing a launch party and like bringing your community together, I feel like that created such an amazing foundation for a start. So with such a strong start, what are some of your goals for the future, and like what are some of the dreams that you have for Poetry's Place, and what are some of the ways that you want to be intentional with it moving forward?
Oh my goodness, wow. Ooh, okay, so the ultimate dream for Poetry's Place is, this is a show and series that I literally create for the rest of my life, for my whole life. The dream would be to have my grandkids like feature and participating in Poetry's Place episodes. Because the spirit of it, which is just having conversations about the stories that influence us and creating stories about the lessons we've learned in life in ways that are helpful to us, that is something that we always do as humans. That's something that I'm always going to do throughout my life. So many of the stories that I created for Poetry's Place for this season came from just, okay, how can I create meaningful songs and stories to just integrate the lessons that I learned from this past year, which was one of the most powerful, challenging, but also transformational years of my life. And so the dream is for Poetry's Place to be a platform, not just for me to integrate the life lessons that I've learned in music and in teachings and in meditations that can help and inspire others, but also to be a platform for my friends and family to share about the lessons that they learned, and the stories that have helped them on their journey. And so I feel Poetry's Place is gonna be like this foundational series where I can share all the lessons and stories in my life in the mediums, the storytelling mediums that I love the most. But then there's going to be some adjacent shows that build off of that. So Trey the Troubadour, that's the adjacent show that I want to create, which is where I will travel to places and learn about the different stories and music and expressions of storytelling of different cultures, of different communities, of different faiths, and learn about the meaning to them. So that's like a cool traveling show, kind of like Anthony Bourdain meets Reading Rainbow meets like hip hop, but also learning music in different cultures. So I'm excited. That's the big dream of mine, traveling the world with that.
Okay, so we should expect that in the future.
In the future, yes. And that the intent is for shows like that, as well as also the different offshoots, the different assets that come from Poetry's Place. Like all the songs that I create for the show, they're all going to be released on streaming platforms for folks to access. The meditations that I facilitate also will be accessible for folks. And for folks that want to have access to that, I'll have a Poetry's Place Patreon, or for $3 a month you can get access to all of that. And so that's also dream from that. But then third series that I seek to come from Poetry's Place called Poetry's Pals. So definitely want you in on, which is just an opportunity for my friends and I to like watch movies, watch TV shows, talk about the different stories that have moved us and unpack it. Like what are the cool narratives in this that inspire us in this show? what are some of the toxic narratives in this one movie that's like, it's no that we heard as a kid, but it's not really serving us now. But just to have those type of conversations. So literally like me having watch parties with my friends, and then having the camera posted up in the back and capturing our just friendly conversation. That's also something that I want folks to experience, because the ultimate dream, the ultimate intention for Poetrey's Place is to be a platform for folks to develop skills and how to be more loving storytellers, to how to tell stories and narratives that cause us to show greater love towards ourselves and others and the planet and the world, and to be more critical of the narratives that we're constantly exposed to that cause us to be unloving and violent towards ourselves and towards others and towards the planet. And for folks to feel empowered to reimagine those narratives into ones that are more helpful and more healthy. And so I feel like this is just one of my vocations that I'll just be doing for the rest of my life. And so it's exciting to be starting this now, like 13 years from when I really developed my passion for social justice and peace building in the first place in storytelling. And hope to be able to continue to do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I think you did touch on some of this too, about your development with understanding your Blackness and getting into social justice in the Cowrie Shell episode that you did.
Yeah.
So it's nice to kind of see everything connecting again, and now you're bringing it into fruition with so many beautiful projects. So I'm really excited about that for you.
Thank you, friend.
I think you already kind of mentioned some projects you have coming up in terms of sneak peeks, but if there's any other little juicy details that you want to give us before you drop anything, I don't want to pry too much, but what are some things we can look forward to seeing within the coming months?
Oh man, well,